how can we best serve God? How can we best serve the Lord? If we trust that we belong to the Lord, if we trust that He is with us, if we trust in His love and that once He has accepted us, everything what we do is a service to Him. If we don't doubt that, then we are actually doing always service. And every service we do is actually pleasing to Him. Everybody wants to do a special service. Maybe you are living in the ashram, you are working in the garden, you are weeding in the garden, you are planting flowers, you are harvesting, bringing it to the kitchen. But you don't feel satisfied because you think, I need to do special seva. If you are working in the kitchen, you're working every day, the whole day long, you don't see anything from the events which are going on. You don't see the joyous celebrations, you don't see Guruji, you don't participate actively, personally in the events. And at some point, maybe again, there is the consideration, I would like to do a more meaningful seva instead of just washing the dishes. Maybe you are cleaning the bathrooms, which by now might even be an exalted seva because everybody says that it is a very great service to do because it is humbling oneself and therefore it is already exalted. But even there, at some point, you might want to do a more special seva. Maybe you're in your country far from sanghas. Maybe you live in an ashram and there's only a few people living there and it feels just lonely and monotone. It feels monotone and you would like to actually do something great. Like when people go and ask Guruji about their dharma. Everybody wants to be a healer or a clairvoyant or something special. But most of the time Guruji just asks, what are you doing right now? And then to the dissatisfaction of the people, he says, that is your dharma. Do that and learn to love that. Because what true service is not what you're doing and where you're doing it, but the true service is how you're doing it. That you are confident about what your path is, that you are confident about why you are living. If you're an instrument of God, then it doesn't matter what you want. A screwdriver hasn't a will by himself and doesn't want to just be involved in a certain project. A screwdriver screws whatever the user, the master of the screwdriver, wants to use it for. In the same way, when we say Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapatya Srimate Narayanaya Namah, when we say, Lord, please let me serve you with my thoughts, with my words, with my actions, let me just be yours, then how can we have at the same time our own will, our own expectations? That is where the problem starts. The arrogance of thinking I know better, the attachment to our ideas, and then the expectation that our ideas are getting fulfilled. That is the problem. And we are back in chapter 2, verse 62 of the Bhagavad Gita, where he says the whole problem starts with the wrong identification, the attachment, and the desires which come from that attachment. That leads to anger and finally to the loss of discrimination and to loss of everything. So we have to be careful for that. What is the solution? Guruji says in one of his acts, how many can say that they are completely at ease with themselves? What they have done, felt, thought, said and been in the past and in the present moment. How many are completely peaceful facing whatever the future may bring? Very, very few people. And interestingly, That is what life is all about. So basically, it is again not about what you're doing, but how you're doing it. He's saying, accept the past, appreciate the present, and anticipate the future. We can easily remember that by having the 3A. If we accept what has happened in the past, or if we make peace with the past, with the situations of the past, with ourselves, with all those things, if we learn to appreciate what is right now, where we are, what is right now, with whom we are, in which situations we are, what we feel, what is going on, just appreciate every moment. And if we anticipate, have a positive outlook for the future, a peaceful outlook, because we know that we are belonging to Guruji, we are belonging to God, we are devotees, and everything what we live, everything what we do is to serve Him, to grow spiritually, to realize more and more who we truly are and what our eternal relationship with Him is. If we can have this kind of mindset and don't doubt that, then our service will be always perfect, because the best service is not what you're doing, but how you're doing it. The best service is when you become the living example of the teachings and the grace of your Sadguru. When you spread that light and love, the greatest service is to be that light and that love. That means again to watch out for the arrogance of the ego and the mind, the attachments to one's own ideas and the expectations that everything should go the way I want it to be. If I watch out for those downfalls and instead put the 3 A's to accept the past, to appreciate the present, and to anticipate the future, then I will come to a place of peace with life itself, of peace with myself, of peace with everything and everybody. And through this peaceful state, I will connect with this light, this love, which I am, always was and always will be. And the more I connect to that, the more I live every moment according to that, the more it will obviously inspire other people. The more it will bring light to the darkness. I remember when I got initiated as Atma Kriya Yoga teacher, I was very excited and wanted to travel all over the world to spread this amazing technique of Mahavatar Babaji. I'm gonna teach Atma Kriya Yoga, which in essence is a noble intention, but there was also the part of pride. I will teach Atma Kriya Yoga. I will spread and give the Shaktipat. I can transmit the grace of Gurudev. And it's not that I wasn't content with working in the ashram manually, in the garden, or in construction, or whatever was needed. But obviously, to spread Kriya Yoga around the world, that is, according to the understanding of the ego, a higher service that we can do. So once Guruji gave the blessing to teach Atma Kriya to all of us, after we finished the ceremony and everything, he told everybody to go and spread Atma Kriya Yoga. And then he looked at me and said, and you don't teach. And I thought, why did you make me a teacher then? And inside, I was getting a little bit agitated. I accepted, but time after time, people came to me and wanted that I teach them Atma Kriya Yoga. And even when I told them, there's other people who can teach you, they said, no, but we would like that you teach us. Once I asked Guruji, and he said, you think you are ready? And I was very careful to answer, because if he has said that I shouldn't teach, then probably there's a good reason behind. And the more I noticed that there was a lot of pride and wrong ideas about service. And only when I gave them completely up, only when I was not having this distinction anymore, Then at some point he just said, now go and teach those people. Now go and teach those people. At that moment, the ego was not involved anymore. That service was no different than any other service I do, because I'm just here to serve you. And as long as the intention is clear, as long as there's no doubt, as long as I remember who am I and to whom do I belong, then it is up to you to tell me what I should do and what not. So if you are in your circumstances, if you are in your country, if you are at your home, if you live in an ashram, if you live in a sangha, whatever you do, if you have any seva, appreciate it, accept it, love it, enjoy it, because the main point of service is not what you do, but how you do it. If you start to appreciate it, then the egoism, the expectations, the attachments will automatically be removed. And more you will connect with the true essence, this light, what you are. You see, great yogis, they are sometimes just completely still. They're not doing any active work, but they are serving humanity in a much bigger scale. If you take Raghavendra Swami, who stays in Mantrailam, since 700 years he's in Jiva Samadhi there. You go to Alandi, there's Sankaneshwar in Jiva Samadhi, he's sitting there. What do you think? They are energy points where the light of those saints is radiating and helping everybody. The light removes the darkness. The love heals everything. And we are called to serve Guruji. And to serve Guruji is to spread his love and his grace, which in the first place means that we have to imbibe it, that we have to deepen it, that we have to dive deep within and not get lost on the outside, on what we are doing and where we are doing it. It is how we are doing it. If we accept the past, appreciate the present, anticipate the future. If we do those three things, this 3A, if we remember them and practice them, then this complaining mind and this constant wanting something else, wanting to be somewhere else, and thinking it is not right what is right now, will be completely erased, and we will find inner peace. And the more we find this inner peace, the more we will shine the light and the love what we are. And that is the true service we can give. To be the light, to be that love, and to share it everywhere. Jai Gurudev.